right, what's going on, big dogs? So today, let's talk about subscriptions. So everyone knows how subscriptions work. You would subscribe to things like maybe it's Spotify or iTunes, Netflix, YouTube, whatever it may be, and you usually get something in return. That being an unlimited category of music or a ton of shows and movies that you want to watch. And obviously, over the last couple of years, subscriptions have really taken off, and it has caused a lot of diversity in the way you subscribe to things. So for instance, in some cases, if you want to watch a show, they are subscribed out to several different platforms. So if you want to watch season 1 through 5, you have to watch it on Netflix. And if you want to watch season 6, maybe you have to switch over to Hulu, or maybe you have to switch over to Paramount Plus, and then you have to switch back to Netflix for season 7. And it's become this chaotic mess. And video games are kind of the last line of defense, if you ask me, on this whole subscription service. Most gamers, and when I say most, I would almost say all of them, are very against these subscription-based services, because at the end of the day, we want to own the games that we play. Because when you're playing a video game and they're able to just change it or make things inaccessible now because political things in the world, or because of just maybe somebody is offended by a certain thing in a game, it can really have a toll and effect on players. And Ubisoft has decided that they are now trying to push for that. Now, I already don't buy Ubisoft games because Ubisoft, if you ask me, sucks. So I already don't buy their games, so them now putting in a subscription service for me to play their games, it's very similar to like Xbox Game Pass, where if you buy the Ultimate Edition, you can play all the games on all the platforms. If you buy just the PC Pass, you can only play the PC games and things like that. It is a basic ripoff of Game Pass. Now the difference is Game Pass is normally pretty good. A lot of their games on there are classics, are good. They're redone to work on like Windows 10 and Windows 11. They're compatible with everything that they're doing. Ubisoft is along the lines of companies like EA and Activision Blizzard. Nobody fucking likes them. Nobody trusts them. Now, to put a little bit of defense on their argument, I don't know if some of you guys know this or not, but Steam is actually the same thing. You don't actually own any of the games that you have on Steam. However, Steam is a lot more strict and is a lot more gamer friendly than all the rest of these services. All the rest of these services, especially those like EA and Ubisoft and Activision, those guys have made it very clear that they don't care about you, the consumer. They care about how much money they're putting in their back pocket, where Steam has taken the opposite approach, and they want you to be able to access your games. They want you to be able to play them. They want the developers to be able to just release whatever they have, and if people want to buy it, they want to buy it. Steam takes a cut, whatever it may be, but if you do look into your agreement on Steam, if you were to buy a video game, it'll tell you you don't actually own the right to this game, you just own the right to play it. It's not actually yours, it's the game companies, they're just allowing you to play a copy of it, basically. Now, there's arguments on both ends of the spectrum, and I think the argument against this is, in this specific case, a lot more grounded, because Ubisoft, and again, these other developers, have shown that we really shouldn't trust them. They're very willing to nickel and dime us at every corner. And I honestly wouldn't be surprised if every video game basically became like an MMO for these guys, where you have to pay a monthly fee just to play this game consistently. And that's what they're going for. That is what they're going for at the end of the day. A lot of these companies have already expressed that is what they wish to go to. The big one recently has been you should pay for your time playing the game, not just for the game, which is stupid, and these companies are going to lose a lot of money, because right now video games are already stupidly overpriced. A lot of these companies are paying millions and millions of dollars to produce dog shit video games for no goddamn reason. If you want to make a successful video game and you don't want to worry about pricing, just make a good fucking video game. It's really not that hard. These guys are making it out to be like it's this rocket science, like crazy ordeal. There are games like Baldur's Gate 3, which apparently cost like $100 million to make. And they have made more than their money back because they made it a phenomenal freaking game. Elden Ring's another great example. These games cost a lot of money and time and resources to make. But if you make a good product, people will continue to buy it. I know people who own Elden Ring on like every fucking console. They bought it for their PC. They bought it for their PlayStations, for when they travel. They have it for their Xbox, so their fiance or kids can play it at home. Like, when you make a good product, people will continue to purchase it, no matter how like expensive it tends to be. I mean, look at the Elder Scrolls community. Skyrim has released like 9 different variants, and everyone buys the new variant all the time because it's just that good of a game. People love that game. The modding community for it is phenomenal. They've done a good job with that game. Ubisoft and EA and Activision have stressed that they want to switch to this subscription service. And to me, when it comes to these guys, I don't think it's going to be one of those fun subscription. Like, again, Game Pass is actually a good subscription service. They have really good games on there. They have some old classics, but they make sure that they operate and run on the platforms that you have them on. I don't trust these guys in the slightest to make sure that the games they're providing are actually going to work and run properly, because again, these same companies are the ones that if their game doesn't work and isn't complete, they just sit there and go, oh well, now it's a live service. I mean, when it comes to like Activision, they released Modern Warfare 3 as a DLC. You can't even refund it if you paid the full amount for a freaking dog shit campaign and a dog shit multiplayer and a buggy as fuck Warzone. You can't even refund it on Steam. Maybe they fixed it by now, but I know for a while it was listed as a DLC, so you were unable to refund it if you wanted to, which is scummy as can be. EA, everyone knows EA. They will nickel and dime you out of every dime you have. I promise you guys, I promise you guys that these companies, they want you to subscribe at first, and then they're going to gradually push it to where you're going to have to subscribe to every single game that you play. And this is why I've always been proud that I'm a physical copy guy. Like, I really wish that physical copies were still like the big thing. You can't even really go to a store and buy a physical copy anymore. Honestly, most of the time, even at like my local Walmart or something, I'll go and try to buy like a disc, like a video game disc, and it'll just be a code in the box. What's the fucking point? Just put it on put it on Steam or put it on the marketplace or whatever. Why the hell do I have to go to Walmart and just buy a code if that's what you're going to do? If I want a hard copy, let me buy a hard copy. But so many games don't even do that anymore. So many developers don't even do that anymore, because then at a moment's notice, if hands get shifted, like we just saw this with Sony's PlayStation Store stuff, when people were subscribed to that, people lost their right to play a few of their games because they switched developers and they were no longer contracted with Sony, and Sony didn't re-up the contract, so people just lost their game. I don't know if people actually got refunded or not, but these subscription services are meant to scam you. We've seen it with the digital entertainment when it comes to like Netflix and everything. At first it was like Netflix for movies and classics, and then it was Hulu for like TV shows and a few sports, but that was your two. And then all of a sudden it had to jump to now Paramount Plus needs one, and HBO Max needs one, and Nickelodeon and Cartoon Network, and every single platform has one now. And unless you're subscribed to those specific ones, good luck finding the show you want to watch. You're going to have to pay the $20 a month until you finish watching that show, and then maybe you'll remember to cancel it, but maybe not. But I don't know, guys. Let me know what you think down below. I really think that this is just them starting out with wanting to scam people. I get where they're coming from. You know, we do subscribe to things all the time, whether it be, like I said, Netflix, Spotify, whatever it may be, but 90% of the time the services are actually good and we're not worried about getting nickel and dime by them for the most part. And these companies just, like, I feel like if Steam wanted to roll something out like this, they probably could, because people have faith and trust in Steam to actually release a solid product. It's just with these companies and Ubisoft, more specifically in this instance, I just don't think this is something they want to push for. I think this is something they should let somebody else try to figure out first. But anyways, like I said, let me know what you guys think down below. Leave a like if you did enjoy, dislike if you didn't. Don't forget to subscribe if you guys haven't already. The channel's been doing great, even though it's just been the start of the year. You guys have been killing it. I love it. Thank you guys for all your support, and until the next video, guys, Godspeed.